Joe Bush was on our podcast. Those of you watching this today need to go ahead and pony up, join the fucking network. It's $75 a year, and go look through the library and find the Joe Bush podcast and watch it. Don't just listen to it, watch it. Joe is a good guy, and he's a funny son of a bitch, but he's a
yes,
but he is a good guy, and he's one of these guys that you immediately will trust because there's not a gram of bullshit anywhere in the guy, and he's very good at this. He is not afraid to pioneer new things, and this is a terribly important thing for those of you that are still buying into the PSA scam, because it's a scam. It's absolutely a scam. For the vast majority of people, it is a scam. And a whole bunch of people have had a whole bunch of bad things done to them because of this particular part of the medical services industry. We don't call it healthcare now. It can't be reviewed. It can't be viewed as healthcare. It is the medical services industry. That's all it is. It is another industry. And your experience with Dr. Bush was as follows.
Yeah, I went down. The thing Dr. Bush does a little differently, he's a radiologist, and he has one of the most sensitive MRI machines made in the world. And he's really, really good at reading the MRIs. And he can show you with great probability exactly where the cancer is and what size it is and roughly how aggressive it is based on the density of the tumors. So I decided I didn't have anything to lose. I would go down and get the MRI and I would talk to him. And Dr. Bush told me he confirmed that I had these 4 tumors, and he told me one of them was very, very close to breaking out of the prostate capsule wall. He told me probably I would have 18 months before it metastasized if I didn't do something about it at that point. So that kind of changed my decision, because at this point it had only been a little after more than 3 years after my diagnosis. I'm thinking I got 10 years and now I got 18 months until it starts spreading and starts causing big problems. So I decided to seek treatment with him. The treatment that he does, one of the treatments he does is a newer treatment that's called the TULSA Pro. And what it does is it uses intraurethral high-frequency ultrasound to heat up the tumor to a temperature that kills the cells. All of this is done in an MRI machine that is monitoring the temperatures of surrounding structures real time, so they can put the heat on the tumors and avoid heating up the nerves that control sexual function and urinary function.
Or burning a hole in the capsule wall.
Correct. Right. Correct.
Well,
yes.
So I hope they put you under general anesthesia for this.
They did. They did. I was a little bit worried about that. It was.
I don't want to be there for that.
No, when I took a look at the stuff that they did, so the advantage of this intraurethral, they've had this something called HIFU, which is rectal ultrasound doing the same thing, but the advantage of the urethral is the urethra goes right through the center of the prostate. Mm-hmm. So they get to cook the prostate from the inside out, and the nerves are along the outside edges of the prostate. So when they go through the rectum, they can't help but heating up one of those nerves. A little bit of advantage there going through the urethra. But looking at the instruments that they inserted into me, I would say the urethra application wand was probably the diameter of my little finger. And then they also inserted a big rectal cooling device to further cool down the tissue that wasn't being irradiated.
Yeah,
so
you want
I
to
was
be
very
out
glad
for that.
I was out. Yeah, I was completely out.
You
for
want to be
all of
out
that.
for all of that, right?
Correct.
Right.
Yes. So
well, that's merciful.
Yeah, it took almost 2 hours, so I was out for quite a while.
2
Yeah,
hours on the table.
yes. Yeah,
Right.
they completely remap your prostate using the MRI, and they program the computer to heat up just the tumor areas and avoid the other ones, and it's quite a process.
Well, so what happened after the surgery?
So after the surgery, woke up. I felt a little bit sore, kind of like a heavy deadlift day. My back and low back and abs were a little tight. That was the extent of the soreness. I had a catheter, a urinary catheter, that I had to wear for 8 days. The length of the catheter depends on how much tissue that they remove from the or kill from the prostate.
Right.
They have a formula that they do. I ended up being 8 days. But I walked out of there and went out to dinner with my friends that night. No problems at all, other than the annoyance of a urinary catheter. I was just kind of like mild muscular soreness for 2 days,
Hmm.
and that was the extent of the discomfort that I felt.
Next time on Starting Strength Radio, we are going to follow up on a conversation we had with Dr. Joe Bush about prostate cancer and his method of treating it. We're going to talk to our friend Greg Ellifritz, who had his prostate cancer treated by Dr. Bush, and we're going to talk about all of the gory details of that situation, his journey, as they say nowadays, through the wasteland of the medical services industry into Dr. Bush's office. Now, be here. Guys need to hear this. This is very, very important. So we'll see you then on Starting Strength Radio.